Attention shoppers. Tonight on the checkout, Craig shows what they pump into pump water. Alex finds out what a NutriBullet does to facts. And Hannah cracks the whip on leather.
Money back guarantee. Not guaranteed.
You're early, and you've been upgraded to first class. And you have nice pants.
Thanks! My flight! We all know how easy it is to miss a flight.
You're late. And you've missed your flight. And you're not wearing any pants.
Damn it! You probably think that if you miss a cheap flight, you're not getting your money back. Especially if your ticket says something like, this ticket is not refundable. But that isn't completely true. For international flights departing Australia, your ticket will include a $55 passenger movement charge. And Customs says that if you don't fly, the airline has to refund that. Now, that's a government-imposed tax. There are also airport fees and charges that these airlines pass on to customers. Now, we are Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide and Gold Coast airports. If they charged airlines these fees when the passenger doesn't fly, and they said no. And we think that since the airports don't charge the airlines these fees if you don't fly, then you shouldn't be charged them either. So, will the major airlines refund airport fees that are never collected? Well, Tiger and Virgin both say no. Guess Richard Branson really needs that money. Qantas and Jetstar do, so good on them, I guess. Just ask for the refund, but there may be an administration fee. So, if you do miss your international flight, call up the airline's customer service line and ask for a refund of the $55 passenger movement charge, plus any other refundable charges. If you booked with Qantas or Jetstar, brace yourself for an administration fee. Tiger and Virgin can go jump. And finally, collect your money. You could get back $55 or more, which is almost enough to pay for your parking.
Living a germ-free lifestyle will be your top priority. Thankfully, you can discover how to protect yourself from the hazards that lurk with our favourite thing, Good Health Magazine. Let's begin with public toilets, or as I like to call them, shame cabins. First rule, never put anything on the ground. The floor is the germiest place in there, with 53% more types of bacterial species than any other surface, like the tap or the toilet seat. Oh, think twice about using soap. Really? Your hands could end up carrying 25 times more bacteria than before you washed them, including the fecal variety. Ugh. Now, while you're avoiding floor germs and poo soap, make sure you also avoid the air, especially around the dryer, because it's also full of bacteria. Now, toilets do seem pretty dirty, but they're really nothing to worry about when you consider that your car's steering wheel is 9 times dirtier than a toilet seat and can give you food poisoning. And you know what, Kirsten?
What, Zoe?
Another place you can get food poisoning is a plane, where you can also get pneumonia from seat back pockets and armrests as the bugs transfer from aeroplane surfaces into your body via eyes, nose and mouth.
What should I do?
Avoid touching your face.
Oh, for f***'s sake.
And when in a hotel room, never eat and watch TV at the same time.
Why not?
Because channel surfing with a room service meal increases your risk of getting sick. Don't touch the switch on the bedside lamp.
Why?
It's one of the most bacteria-laden items in the room. At the office, you should also clean your hands at least 5 times a day.
But not with poo soap.
Oh, heavens no, never with poo soap.
And cut.
Oh,
That's
thank
all right.
God that's over.
Kirsten, do you have a compulsion to clean?
Oh, not really. Only my steering wheel and the lamp and the remote control.
I have fear of contamination.
Oh, just from soap.
Are you particularly anxious about touching things because they might be dirty?
Oh, only the air and my face and the air and my face.
Do you engage in obsessive hand washing?
It's not obsessive if you know how many germs there are out there.
I don't know. I'm just reading this article, OCD and What You Need to Know.
Where'd you get that from?
Where do you think?
It's not.
Oh, it is. It's in the same issue as that article about germs. I'm just not sure Good Health magazine is so good for your health.
If you're not into the green smoothie trend yourself, you probably know someone who is.
Hashtag kale.
Drinking a smoothie. Sorry, haters. Hashtag
green
don't
is
care.
goodness.
Too blessed to be stressed.
almonds.
Hashtag yummers. Yummy. I can feel it doing me good. Oh, sorry.
With every glass packed with vitamin brag, drinks like these are a great way for busy people to tell you exactly how much fruit and veggies they're adding to their diet, even if you didn't ask.
Oh, this? Yeah, it's just kale, spinach, apple, kiwi fruit, flax seeds, chia, and almonds.
The NutriBullet is one of the most aggressively marketed blenders,
The NutriBullet is not a blender.
okay? One of the most aggressively marketed juices.
It's not a juicer.
Oh, then what is it?
It's a breakthrough in nutritional science that can change your life. The NutriBullet's high-powered motor with bullet-exclusive cyclonic action breaks down and pulverizes food on a cellular level, opening up their hidden nutritional value that can reverse the effects of aging and supercharge your metabolism.
If you believe NutriBullet's claims, it could seem like nutrition is trapped inside your food like a princess in a tower. And the NutriBullet is the knight in shining armour, breaking down cell walls to set your beloved nutrients free. But that's not all. It's also a time machine.
Turn back the hands of time 5, 10, even 20 years with this incredible machine.
Oh, sweet! Mum got a NutriBullet. Oh, great! Not again.
You could even just use the NutriBullet instead of medicine.
Before you turn to drugs, please give this a shot. It really, really works.
Drugs?
You want to score?
Yeah, all right.
Not again!
And if that's not enough, it's spruiked by a man who calls himself David Avocado Wolf, who, according to his website, is the rock star and Indiana Jones of the superfoods and longevity universe.
You have chosen parsley.
And check out his qualifications.
I don't know if you guys know this, but both my parents are medical doctors.
And as we all know, if your parents are medical doctors, that pretty much makes you one. Isn't that right, Dad?
I wish.
You just make and you drink.
In the ads, David Wolf explains why the NutriBullet is better than other products on the market.
It's actually pre-digesting the food for us. In the old days, we pre-digested our food by cooking it. With the NutriBlast, we're actually using that cyclonic action to actually implode all of those nutrients and make them immediately bioavailable without heat.
But do we really need our food pre-digested and our nutrients imploded? Or is that just bio bullshit?
Well, we do need to break down the cell walls for our food to be digested.
Aha!
But there's something cheaper and just as effective that does all of that for you. And I'm using it right now.
Vitamix?
No, my mouth. And more importantly, the bacteria in your gut. They break down your food and allow your body to absorb the nutrients.
But doesn't the NutriBullet open up hidden nutritional value that your body can't access?
No, the nutritional content of a food doesn't change because you blend it.
What if you pulverise it?
In fact, if you're trying to lose weight, the NutriBullet can be unhelpful.
Oh.
Our bodies process liquids quicker, so you won't feel full for as long as you would if you ate whole fruits and vegetables. And you could end up eating more.
Hang on. What do your parents do?
My dad's an accountant and my mum's a yoga teacher.
Sorry, I thought you were qualified.
Hey!
But there's plenty of other reasons why people turn fruit and vegetables into smoothies, even if you don't believe all the marketing hype. Maybe you're a busy and important person who doesn't have time for things like chewing food.
Put the Tokyo office on hold. I'm breaking for lunch.
Or you might feel like you have to trick yourself into eating healthy food.
Here comes the aeroplane. I don't want it. I want chips. It's good for you. It's actually not that bad.
At the end of the day, the NutriBullet is just a portable blender with delusions of grandeur. It can help you increase the amount of healthy food in your diet, but it's still not as good for you as eating the equivalent amount of whole fruit and vegetables.
What am I going to put in my Insta now? Hashtag eating a dumb carrot?
Take away all the nonsense marketing words, there are cheaper alternatives that do pretty much the same thing. And I'll drink to that.
Qantas Activity Pack.
Hello, sweetie. Look what Daddy got you on the plane.
Warning, to avoid suffocation and danger to children, dispose of this bag immediately. Please retain this information for future reference. Dispose of this bag immediately. Retain this information. Qantas Activity Pack. Activity for the whole family.
Crazy discounts!
Fabric sale. Nothing over $7.95.
Nothing?
Some exclusions.
Oh. Everything must go.
50% off everything in this window.
A product you can trust.
Similar to As Seen on TV.
Made from the finest ingredients.
Customers make a great winter soup.
I'm not eating customers.
Customers make a great winter soup.
Oh my God!
And made from the finest print.
Bondi's cheapest pharmacy.
Hang on, can we look a bit closer at that?
Is this Bondi's cheapest pharmacy?
You see, you can't do that. That's misleading.
Sorry.
Don't do it again.
Okay. Australia's cheapest chemist. And that's it for 2015. Thanks for listening to the best signs of the time ever.
No, John.
Fine. Want some Woolworths soup?
No.
The world of leather.
Wrap yourself in true luxury.
The Leather Warehouse.
Oh, I see you came back for me.
No, my leather jacket.
Corinthian leather. Of course, why not the best?
Leather. It's one of the most luxurious fabrics in the world, with a price tag to match. But when you see the word leather on a label, do you really know what you're getting? The store may swear black and blue.
It's genuine leather, I swear it's real.
But what does that actually mean? Businesses use all kinds of words like soft or real or genuine to pass off inferior materials as leather. The most common are composites like die-cast leather, PU leather, and bonded leather.
Did somebody say bondage leather?
Instead of one piece of animal hide, these materials are made from leather byproducts, sometimes combined with a synthetic substance like polyurethane. Back in 2010, the ACCC busted fantastic furniture.
Oh, so that's why you're here.
Also, my tastes are very singular.
It's what you do. It's what you see.
They caught them advertising bonded leather furniture with lines like,
"The luxury of leather for less and Euro hide."
when they actually contained just 10% leather fibres. Most major furniture makers are phasing out the use of bonded leather, but you could still be unlucky. Like Rolina, she bought a pricey set of couches that she was assured were leather. But when they started to disintegrate, she found out that they were actually made from bonded leather. That's the trouble with bonded leather. It just doesn't last, and it's still common in things like clothing. You'd be pretty upset to find that the expensive leather jacket you bought isn't the real McCoy.
I feel so cheap. Wearing leather doesn't make you bikie, mate. Selling meth does. Thanks, guys.
Jibber! So, how do you tell if it's the real deal? Pinky swears? So it was 200... Thanks.
What's actual leather?
Full grain leather. It's the full thickness of the hide, closest to the natural skin of the animal.
Oh yeah, you're an animal.
Wow! It's durable, natural, and expensive. You can see scars, growth marks, and wrinkles on full grain. Then there's corrected or top grain. It's the top layer, sanded and refinished. Your purse, your wallet, chances are it's top grain. Last and least, there's split leather. It's the bottom layer of the hide. It's the cheapest and most fragile. Split leather isn't good for furniture, but it's okay for things that aren't expected to last more than a season or two.
Oh, I see you came back for me.
No, my leather jacket. And of course, there's a lot of people out there who don't want real leather. Murderer! And it's not just for animal rights reasons. The tanning process of leather can be incredibly toxic on the environment, as many tanneries use harmful carcinogenic chemicals, like chromium, which is sometimes pumped back into the water table, generating large amounts of sludge and contaminated wastewater. Which is bad for, you know, trees. Leather can also have a human cost, with working conditions in some tanneries strongly criticised by human rights groups. Makes your first job at the Macca's deep fry look like a goddamn holiday.
Get back to work!
Yes, boss! But if the real thing is what you're looking for, first of all, don't buy these. Pleather, Leatherette, PVC, Artico, Man-Made Leather, Maztex, MBTex, Leather Look, Alcantara, Biothane, Birkibuk, Burkafloor, Clarino, Kydex, Lorica, Naugahyde, Rexine, Vigatan, Fabricoid, Ultra Suede. They're all fake leather. Then check the price. Excuse me, how much is this?
You can't afford it.
Actual leather won't be cheap. Then look closely at the markings. Manufactured leather is often marked with a repetitive fake pore pattern, whereas natural leather has blemishes and creases, just like human skin.
Speak for yourself, doll.
Then try smelling it. Imitation hide often has a strong chemical or plastic odour to it. The best way to test for natural leather is to set it on fire, as it won't melt easily. But not all stores endorse this practice. So remember, when you're shopping for leather, ignore any vague descriptive terms like luxury and ask exactly what you're getting.
Has 100% leather been used on every part of this product?
Yes, I promise it's a corrected grain.
If you feel you've been misled when shopping for leather, then the person who sold it to you could be in breach of the consumer law and you may be eligible for a refund. And you wouldn't be the first person to have been misled, remember?
Corinthian leather. Of course, why not the best?
That was actually a term invented by a copywriter for Chrysler's blend of leather and vinyl. So remember, just because something looks and sounds fancy doesn't mean that it is.
Yeah.
Oh, thank Christ for that.
Yes, kill him! Go for the face! Sorry I told him to go for your face, darling. My kids love sport, and it's important to keep them hydrated. But how do you get them to drink water? Thank God for Pump. They've made water drinkable at last. Finally, a water that's low in sugar. Here you go, sport. Hang on, 17 grams of sugar? That's That's more than 2 Freddos. Or this chocolate mousse. Or this rainbow paddle pop. Or these Monte Carlos. Or this Whiz Fizz. Or this Nutella. Or these Cocoa Pops. Or this maple flavoured syrup. Or this jelly. Or these hundreds and thousands.
But I'm thirsty.
Fine. Don't tell your mother about this. Go on. Run around. Work off all that water.
Hello and welcome to F YouTube, where you tell us what's getting your goat, and if we can't solve your problem, we'll send you a goat. And we do hope you like goats, because as our first story tells us, returning things you didn't ask for can be a real... Lisa ordered 2 pairs of jeans online, and when they arrived, she was like,
What the?
because they didn't fit. And I don't mean in the cool, fashionable way. I mean they weren't the size she ordered. And it turns out the company didn't have the jeans she ordered in stock. Now they gave her a refund for the jeans and the original postage, but said she had to
send both pairs of jeans back at my own cost.
Lisa thought that was a bit much, especially since she'd already paid $25 postage.
It wasn't my mistake. They stuffed up.
So Lisa has a question.
What I want to know is, where is the support for online consumers when the seller gets it wrong?
I don't know, it's not like I'm Australian consumer law man.
I'll save you!
Look, it's Australian consumer law man, yay!
Now this bit's a bit complicated. I think we need an actual Australian consumer law man.
That's the Australian consumer law woman, thank you.
Sorry. So what are the rules around postage and handling fees for refunds?
Read this. Consumers do have to pay to return a faulty good unless it's a major failure and the cost is significant.
Because the goods are too big or dangerous or hard to send.
The good news is the sellers have to cover the cost of all reasonably foreseeable loss for faulty goods, so all postage and handling fees should be reimbursed.
Fair enough, but what kind of coverage do you get if you just change your mind?
You're not entitled to a refund under the consumer law for that.
But some companies will cover the cost of postage for change of mind returns, so it's always worth checking the terms and conditions before you place your order. Basically, if you've bought something online that doesn't do what it's supposed to, you're entitled to a full refund on all your postage costs. And if a company tells you otherwise, you know the superheroes of Australian consumer law have got you back.
Nice try.
Well, that's great news. You can get a full refund on postage for faulty goods. So what did you do with this information, Lisa?
I couldn't be bothered contacting them again, so I just left it.
Next, a complaint from Di, who's unhappy with courier service TNT because
the considerable damage caused to our tester drawers was done during transport provided by them.
Maybe it fell off the forklift, but whatever happened, Di's furniture was completely forked. Di says she got a call from TNT admitting responsibility and
telling us that our claim was valid.
Oh, look at that. It's so nice when a company admits they've done the wrong thing, and it's even nicer when they compensate the customer fully after the stuff-up, wrapping things up in a nice TNT package, which is not what happened to Di. So let's look at what should have happened.
Once they knew about the problem, TNT should have paid for a replacement chest of drawers and refunded the courier fees under Section 1 of the Law of Human Decency.
Simple, right? But what actually happened is
Di phoned TNT, who told her to email them, so she did. Then she emailed them again, and then she heard nothing, so called, and they told her her claim was valid. Then she got an email from Amber, who wanted more information, so Di sent it. Then Di says she got a letter from TNT sent to the wrong address that claimed she wouldn't be compensated because she didn't have an extended warranty. So Di called again and spoke to Scott, not that Scott, a different Scott, who said he would contact Dominic, but she only heard from Sam, who hadn't heard about her claim but promised to make it right. Instead, she got an email from Fallonu, and then her claim was forwarded to the claims department by Jessica, but then a breakthrough. TNT gave her money back, but only for the delivery charges. So Di emailed again. That's when TNT stopped answering her emails altogether.
Which is a shame, because she was only 1 degree of separation away from Kevin Bacon. In summary,
despite telling us that our claim was valid, because we didn't take the option of an extended warranty, they rejected it.
Di isn't the only person who claims TNT has told her that damaged goods aren't covered unless you have an extended warranty. Go to productreviews.com.au, scroll through the 594 reviews that rate TNT services terrible, and you'll find
TNT is the worst company I've ever dealt with.
No, that's not it.
Hopeless and incompetent losers?
Keep going.
TNT lose a 78 kilogram power generator on 20th of March 2015.
No.
Here it is. They walk on the freight, damaged, not able to claim, somehow my fault?
Although in TNT's defence, the footprints do carefully avoid the fragile stickers. The consumer law says if services aren't provided with due care and skill, consumers are entitled to compensation for all reasonably foreseeable loss. We put that to TNT, and at first they said Di wasn't entitled to compensation because she booked through her business. So if you're a business, TNT, the company that promises to
make sure that your parcels are delivered safely and on time throughout the world,
won't take responsibility for the safe delivery of your product. Good to know. It's true that consumer guarantees for services don't apply to transport or storage for business purposes, but TNT acknowledges that the consumer law applies to consumers, so their extended warranties, like most extended warranties, are unnecessary rubbish. Oh, and by the way, they so backed their businesses aren't protected argument that they immediately refunded Di. So just remember, if you ask for something to be transported with TNT, then things might not arrive in one piece. And that's the end of the checkout for another year. Next week, we're sending you some of the best ofs, but we sent them through TNT, so it's not our fault if they're a bit damaged. Good night.